On your awakening journey, there are several signs, but one of the most important and confusing signs that I've observed, and it's difficult to deal with something like this, is when you have the ability to understand people's thoughts and intentions towards you. You could be in an environment where if you weren't spiritually awakened, you would think that everybody likes you and everybody has good intentions for you. But then when you go through a spiritual awakening and you connect more with your higher self, you are in touch with your spiritual team, you connect with your spirit guides on a regular basis, and then when you enter into a room or it's a business meeting or you go out with your friends for shopping or dinner or just interact with the wider world, you have the ability to understand people's thoughts and intentions towards you. You could also understand their thoughts and intentions towards other people, but that wouldn't be much of a focus or much of an interest point for you. The interesting aspect here would be their intentions towards you. When we have this awareness, in the beginning, it's a little confusing because all of us are self absorbed. We like to think about ourselves. And when we start getting this information, it can be overwhelming and it can be emotionally draining. In an environment like that, where there are a lot of people who do not like you, for example, if they don't like you, if their intentions towards you is not good and they are envious, you will feel that energetically. And what this will do is that this will shut down your energy. You will feel emotionally drained and you will not be as centered as you were before. So, one of the ways how to get your power back, how to get your energy back and come back in alignment is to spend some time with yourself and spend some time in nature because nature naturally stabilizes our energy. So, this is one way how you can separate your energy from other people's energies. Try not to be in this environment for a very long period of time because it's going to be very emotionally exhausting. And you will also be able to figure out certain people who don't like you. And I want you to trust that instinct. Earlier in my life, when I was in school, I thought that maybe I was doing something wrong. So whenever I would get this instinct that somebody does not like me and they are being sarcastic with me or they're taunting me or they're passing a remark, which was actually very hurtful in the guise of, oh, I'm just kidding, I didn't mean that. Obviously, you meant it, that's why you said it. So, in school, when I encountered something like this, initially in the beginning, I would go and talk to that person and tell them that this hurt me and why did you say that? Did I do something wrong? And their usual response would be extremely shallow, saying that, oh, I'm just kidding. I didn't mean that. I said it because of this or that. And I didn't see much truth in their reasoning, or I didn't understand why would somebody do something like this? Why would somebody tell another person something very mean or rude? But then later on, as I grew up, initially I would go to that person, ask them, confront them, probably even resolve anything that could be resolved, but there was nothing to resolve because I hadn't really done anything. I was just being myself. But I was on the receiving end of a lot of hate, I would say, and a lot of envy. And when I started working, I realized that because everyone was so competitive with each other and everyone would want to be in the good books of the boss or whoever we were reporting to, that nobody really showed their real self. I could see a mask on everyone's faces as if they're pretending to be somebody that they want to be, but they're not being who they actually are. And in that process, I figured that maybe I also could do similar things, but I just couldn't do that for a very long period of time. Um, when people are unable to, when people pretend basically, when they have a mask on your spiritual journey, if you're going through an awakening or if you've gone through several awakenings, you would realize that you're not able to pretend. It's just something that you're not interested in doing. Your true self is You like your true self. You like the way you are because you've accepted yourself completely. And it's not like we stop um, growing and evolving or we give up on certain things. It's not like that at all. It's this level of peace where you're okay with yourself and you've accepted yourself and you're happy with yourself. And in an environment with strangers, with new people, with even people you like or they could like you, in any environment, you're just yourself. You're very real. And it's not even about other people, it's about yourself and how you want to show up in the world. Because eventually masks will come off. Nobody can keep that mask forever. It's only a matter of time. Our true self, our real colors, those will always show. We cannot really hide them. So if you are in an environment where you start noticing that people may smile at you, but behind your back, they're talking about you in a negative way, or you can just sense that people are talking about you, and on your face, they're very kind, they seem to like you, they're giving you compliments. What you could do in such a situation, I would recommend don't do anything. Because when we react to anything, we're giving our energy to that specific situation, conversation, person, outcome, event. But if you don't give your energy to that specific person or that situation. If you don't do anything, if you don't react, will that stop the other person from talking about you? I don't know. I'm not sure. They could not. It depends on people what they want to do with their life and their time. If they want to spend it talking about other people, then they'll do that. If they want to do something meaningful with their life, then they're going to do that. So that is personal choice. They can do whatever they want to do. But if I'm in a situation like this, I would never react. And I've noticed in some situations, people are very sarcastic and they say certain things. Um, I would consider this to be a quality because in many situations, I just don't get it because I'm quite absorbed in what I'm doing. So I've noticed this and I understood this later on when somebody passed a remark and I didn't understand that in the moment. So I didn't say anything to that person. I remember I looked at that person and I started doing whatever I was doing. I was working on my laptop. And later on, I realized did that person mean that? It was just a fleeting thought. I didn't, even after that realization, I didn't put much thought into it. I just let it go. So I'm not saying that you don't have to stand up for yourself. And if somebody insults you or if somebody disrespects you, you don't say anything. That's not what my recommendation is. My suggestion is just to be non reactive when you can, because your energy is very precious. And the reason why people are getting unsettled is because your energy is very calm and your energy is very soothing, and other people can pick up on this. Many people, because they're so uncomfortable with themselves, they talk. They talk all the time. That is their coping strategy. They like to talk. They like to talk about significant and insignificant things. They talk about pretty much everything and anything. And after a spiritual awakening, I think many people calm down because there are certain truths about life that you accept, and you just realize that talking about it wouldn't do, wouldn't make it any better. Um, so yeah, I thought I wanted to make a video about how you can have this ability to understand people's intentions and understand if somebody is real or not, or if somebody is putting up a mask. It You could also feel agitated when you see somebody who's not being real, and you can just see through that person, and you realize that this person is not being real. This person is putting up a mask and they're pretending to be something. It can agitate you, but then you can't really do anything about that. But yes, this is something that you can use to your advantage. Stick around with the people who really like you, because if you can understand people who don't like you, you can also understand people who do like you. And I often filter them out and I stay close to the people who like me. I talk to them. I like to stay in touch with them. I communicate about my feelings with them more often. And I just eliminate the ones who don't like me, because there's no point having such people in your life. So I hope this gave you some clarity about what happens after a spiritual awakening. If you're going through something like this, do let me know. It's interesting just to listen to other people's stories after an awakening. And let me know if you also have this ability.